Hello, I'm Zorab and this is Byther Farm, except it isn't. Today I'm out in Bristol, which is my hometown, and I have come to Bristol Seed Swap. So I'm standing just out in the foyer outside the Seed Swap, and with me is Diane, who's the coordinator of the Seed Swap this year. So
Hello.
Thank you for taking a few minutes to talk to us. Do you mind telling us a little bit about the history of the Seed Swap?
It was set up about 14 years ago, on rather small scale by some people, I think were on the shift course in Bristol. And it's grown since then, and it's been passed from one set of organisers to another. And I was first involved 4 years ago.
Right.
And I'm the last one out of that core of people still standing. And and we're looking for more organisers all the time, you know, to keep it going.
So, if you are in the Bristol area, and it can be quite a wide area around, there are some roles that are remote, aren't there?
Yeah, we need some people to do web work and publicity. So,
if you're interested in volunteering and helping, I'll leave links to the website and how to get in touch with Bristol Seed Swap. And it would be great if you could get in touch with them and let them know that you'd like to be involved next year. So what's the point of the Seed Swap?
There's kind of dual things. One is we want to make growing food cheaper and more accessible to people, because obviously there are people in Bristol in food poverty, and then there's also people who've just never had the chance to grow, and it can be hugely healing mentally as well as physically providing good food. And the other side of it is that we are losing a vast number of our heritage and traditional seeds, as big companies are only really interested in creating and marketing seeds for, well, agro-industry. And the ones they produce are often F1s, which are fine if you want supermarket veg, but if you want something with taste and, you know, diversity and, you know, maybe something that's got a story about it, about where it came from, then what you want and what we want are the cultural heritage of heritage varieties. It's literally our cultural heritage. The story is about, you know, a tomato that was bred by someone here for that particular Welsh valley, or this one somebody brought over with a Russian grandma and they've grown it for 3 generations.
So I bought beans, and you'll be familiar with my beans. So the White Lady runner beans are right next to the Greek gigantes beans, have without a doubt cross-pollinated. So I've bought the White Lady cross Greek gigantes beans. So hopefully,
I need some of those.
when people grow them, what they'll get is something that is as prolific as the White Lady, but with the size and the taste and that fabulous texture of Greek gigantes.
I'm off to vote the food too, so find some of those.
Does the Seed Swap then feed in and fit in with some of the other food programmes in Bristol, so like Edible Bristol, or?
We have an overlap of volunteers and we're on friendly terms. We're not actually interconnected in any formal way, but for instance we're sending some seeds on to Incredible Edible after the event haven't been used, so it makes them, you know, help them. And in the past, when they've been given more seeds than they can use, they've given them to the Seed Swap. So there's a mutual support, and we have links to both through them and through other people who volunteer with schools. So if we're left with a big box of seeds, we may select some out to keep for next year, or pass on in other ways, but we'll try and make sure that they get used and that it all helps to get people growing.
Do you have any idea of how many people are using the Seed Swap year after year?
Last year I think we had about 300, in the year before slightly more because of just weather. This year I don't know. It might be worth asking the women on the welcome desk.
It's packed in there. It's really busy.
From the first 5 minutes it was full. And there were points where I couldn't get across the room because I need to talk to somebody else. I had to go.
It's been absolutely, it is great, and the atmosphere in there is really nice, isn't it?
And we've got lots of very nice stall holders who are all on the green and the ethical, and we're standing next to Avon Wildlife Trust who are here trying to round up people as well.
I'll go and have a chat. I'll go and have a chat with them in a second. So this incredible event, and it really is, it's so nice here. It's organised and it's run by volunteers. So you were saying that
everyone here is working for free, giving their time for free, and we're supported entirely by the sale from the cafe, donations for seeds, and we've got some stall holders who are paying a low rent this year just to try and help both pay the expenses.
Okay, and then there are some speakers. Yeah, great. That's a really good thing. And some of the speakers here who are giving talks, and there's a programme of talks throughout the day. So the speakers are being paid to recognise their skills and their expertise. Everything else voluntary. So as I said before, if you are interested in volunteering, it's a really good thing to do. It's fun too. You meet some wonderful people, and if you like seeds and plants, you've met your people where you can be the anorak you really are and not feel ashamed of your obsession. So if you are a new grower and you're in the Bristol area, Diane has got a couple of ideas about how you could start. One thing is there's several community gardens in Bristol. There's Golden Hill, there's Feed Bristol, which is north of Bristol, and there's Incredible Edible, who run open gardening sessions all around the city. And you don't have to have any knowledge to show up at any of those. They'll be pleased to have you. But other than that, there's gardening clubs. And if you're just starting in your own little yard with something like a pot or two, then some of the easy ones are just things like broad beans, a couple of potatoes in a pot, or a tomato plant. And if you haven't even got that, then a chilli plant on the windowsill will get you into the feeling of what it's like to see a seed turn into something fabulous. Yes. Diane, thank you so much for your time today. We're both going to head back inside. It's time to get a cup of tea. I'm going to choose some seeds to take home with me. Diane suggested that I spoke to Ruth. Ruth has got a business called Steep Holding, in which she sells veg boxes, cheeses, all sorts of things. And today she's here with lots of heritage fruit trees. But that's not why I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about Bristol Seed Swap. And I gather that you were there right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So what sparks the idea? What gave the idea?
So myself and a friend David Borelski, we had been to seed swaps in other parts of the country.
Right.
We were both really into organic growing, and we've been looking at permaculture and learning about those kind of things, and we were growing ourselves. And we had links to Brighton, and we went to visit Brighton, and there the seed swap basically had evolved to the point where it's taken over the whole town hall.
Wow.
So this was quite a lot of years ago. I think maybe 20 years ago, maybe a little bit less. Anyway, we'd been to the Brighton Seed Swap and seen this scale, and it was such an amazing gathering, bringing together people from right across the city.
Yeah.
And the whole principle of, swapping and bringing that back into play. So there was community, it didn't have to be about money, and then skill sharing and people learning, like taking back control over their own food, learning about how to grow things, how to save seeds, and then the absolute abundance of seed that you...
This is my kind of woman.
what incredible crops of seeds you can have, and then how you can then have all of that and put it back into a community and creating that network so that could actually happen, so people could get their hands on them.
The first year that you organised it, how many people were there? 300? Was it?
God, it's going back a bit. So to start with, it was fairly small, but there would have been about 30 or more people.
That's a pretty good start, isn't it, though?
Well, I mean, what's not to like about a seed swap?
And look how it's grown. I can't
it's great, isn't
believe it? I keep saying the atmosphere is so nice, so positive, and it was like I keep saying when I arrived I was kind of hit by this wall of warmth, not just from the number of people here, but just from the feeling of how nice it was. It's a really good thing. Please do have a look and see if you've got a seed swap anywhere near you. It's absolutely the right time of year for them. They are popping up all over the place. Thank you so much.
I mean, if there's one other thing I'd say about it is it's the local is really important about a seed swap. So you've got crops that people are growing locally, so adapting
to the
local area, and the diversity, is what's being lost. So getting together and sharing locally is a really
Erica,
good idea.
over on her channel, has talked about seeds being able to adapt to the local conditions, and therefore will be much stronger, give you a better crop and be more disease resistant. And this is just what Ruth is saying, is that by having the localness of that seed, you're breathing into your seed robustness.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I'm going to leave links to Ruth's website so you can find out more about what she's been doing and what you're doing now. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one, and I also hope you'll join me again next time.